Hail, knight! You seek my relics with a worthy heart.
Chapter 2, Shrine of the Crusader. After completing the Divine's pilgrimage at the behest of the Prophet in Anvil, we receive a vision. Upon praying at the final wayshrine, we find ourselves transported to the skies above the Imperial City, appearing before the Divine Crusader, Pelinal Whitestrake, who reveals more details about himself and how Umaril, the Sorcerer King, has returned.
Your prayers have woken me from my endless dream. Or perhaps you have entered my dream, and I still sleep. I think others have sometimes spoken to me. Others like you, but my memory is doubtful. Perhaps the others came after you. Your need must be great for the gods to allow us to speak. Has Umaril the Accursed found a way back? The foulest of a foul race, 1,000 curses upon his unholy name. I thought I'd won, but I should have known. The slave masters are a cunning breed. Umaril found a way to cheat death as I could not. If you would seek for my relics, I know little that can help you. All that has passed since my death is like mist that my mind cannot take hold of. My friends built a shrine upon the site of my death, where the elves tormented me in a final act of revenge. I can show you where it once stood. Perhaps it is there still. Fare thee well, Sir Knight. May the gods grant you to destroy Umaril utterly, as I failed to do.
Hearing Pelinal's story and given the task of retrieving the Crusader's relics, we're then transported back to the Shrine of Talos in Cyrodiil. Before embarking on our quest to the shrine, we speak to Sir Roderick once again, and if we claim that we've already finished our pilgrimage, receiving a vision of Saint Pelinal for completing this task, it will have him congratulate us on this feat, saying,
"Indeed, you are most fortunate. I pray that I too may be worthy to receive such a divine command. Meanwhile, I will continue on my own pilgrimage. Fare thee well, my friend."
Indeed, there is none more worthy than Sir Roderick himself, and so we bid the noble knight farewell. And no sooner than we are released from the vision, our journal also updates saying, "Upon completing my pilgrimage to the wayshrines, I received a vision from the Divine Crusader Pelinal Whitestrake. He revealed the location of a lost shrine, which is where I should begin my quest for the relics of the Crusader, and map marker points to Vanua's location. We are also made a member of the Knights of the Nine faction with the rank of Knight Errant. Heading northwest towards Vanua's location, ironically, or perhaps by divine design, we passed Fort Alessia, named after the very queen who liberated the men of Cyrodiil from slavery from the Ayleids with the aid of Pelinal Whitestrake himself. The location, also known as Castle Alessia, is a ruined military fort located on the Red Ring Road southeast of the Imperial City in the Great Forest of Cyrodiil, and it can be assumed that the fort was named in honor of Alessia, as the fort is located just east of the Ayleid ruins of Ayleid, where Saint Alessia was raised herself as a slave. Now the fort is occupied by local marauders, and we take it upon ourselves as a knight errant to liberate the stronghold once more in Saint Alessia's name. We then head east, crossing the large Red Ring Road bridge, looking to see any signs of the Ayleid fort Vanua from our vantage point that Pelinal spoke of, to no avail. Momentarily caught off guard, drinking in the majesty of the Imperial City as we cross the bridge, we're met by an ill-tempered Khajiit bandit who threatens.
Pay up, or else.
Although we can refuse to pay the Khajiit, opting to slay the cowardly cat where he stands.
Easily done. I'll hack you to pieces. Ha!
Interestingly, if we instead pay the 100 gold, he responds.
Thanks. Until next time.
Usually, if not on this sacred quest, after paying him, when asking about rumors, he would simply reply,
You're talking to me, and I don't like you. Goodbye.
But due to the rumors swirling around Cyrodiil, we can actually learn more about the Prophet, and the Khajiit bandit will say,
An intriguing fellow from what I've heard. A cut above the usual street corner rabble-rouser. He's the talk of Anvil, apparently.
Let's call the 100 gold reparations for Pelinal mistaking the Khajiit for elves in his own bloody crusade.
I'm through talking to you.
Peering over the side of the bridge, we're confused as the ruined Vanua still remains out of sight, yet on our map it should be there. Was Pelinal indeed incorrect, as he was slain ages ago, having his body torn asunder? Did it make his memory fuzzy? It's then we head down to the shoreline, and as we step into the water, see the remains of a ruin poking out. Perhaps the river was much lower in days of old. We dive down to the depths of the river, near its bed, and find a door that leads into Vanua. Inside, we are still underwater, yet emerge safely by some stairs. Or so we thought, as we're met by an errant skeleton, seemingly awaiting our arrival. And so we rush to meet each other in combat. Felling the foul foe, we then loot the remains of his bones, or bone meal that is left behind crushed in his wake. To the east, we see an Ayleid casket that holds an iron warhammer, weak potion of light, and 9 gold. Tentatively exploring the tomb, we see that there are precious stones lighting the burial chambers, and as we look at the skeletons and take the well-kind stones, which are precious for magic users, we are again assaulted by more errant skeletons and wonder to ourselves, are these some of the crusaders of old that have returned to life to protect their tomb, or something more sinister? Plundering the rest of the tombs for the well-kind stones, we see in a large open chamber 4 pillars with well-kind stones atop each. We then attack the skeleton which has been milling about, defending its precious stones. Carefully plucking each stone from the pillars in which they hold them, we look above to try and spy a trap, but our misgivings seem for naught as nothing comes crashing down. Searching the rest of the chamber, we see what appears to be a well-kind stone embedded in the wall, but instead is a press block, known to be throughout the Ayleid ruins, and activates a hidden door where a skeleton is unawares of our presence, until we start to fire upon him. We then head north, plucking the arrows from the ground as we trudge through the half-flooded tomb, looting precious arrows from the corpse of the skeleton that had just fired upon us. Delving deeper into the submerged tomb, we see to the northeast that our path is blocked by some knotty bramble. It seems that the tree's roots themselves have blocked our path, entangled into the very tomb itself. We then head west and north up some stairs, back into the ruin where a skeleton patrols. Collecting its precious bone meal for alchemy, we then see to the south wall an Ayleid cask with 9 arrows and 7 gold still sitting from all the centuries undisturbed. So then we head north through a gate into a large hall that also seems to be a form of burial chamber, guarded by one of the skeleton warriors. Casually plucking the well-kind stone from where it sits, we then examine the burial slab in the center of the room. No closer to the Crusader's relics than before, we're then ambushed from behind. With our stealth assaulter taken care of, we curiously see the path leads ever deeper, presumably outside of the tomb, and find a wood door to the shrine of the Crusader. Ascending, we find we are, in fact, back inside a ruin, and a skeleton assaults us with the newfound fervor. With a wave of our claymore, we bat him away, and looking at each side in which to explore, we then head west to a dead end, and south as well seems to be caved in. Following the light of the tunnel, we see more brambles sticking out, and a curious hole in the wall that appears to be our only way forward. Heading northwest through the cavernous area, we're ambushed once more by a sleuthing skeletal archer that waited for our arrival behind the pillar. It's then we about face and peer through the hole in the wall, seeing a skeleton shambling about and what looks to be a kite shield laying on the ground to the west. But to the northwest, in front of a fire, we see what appears to be the knight's helm itself. It's then we're pelted by arrows and are forced to defend ourselves against this ranged nuisance. As luck would have it, before we can even get close to the helm, we spy another skeletal archer that is defending its prize. Although, as luck would have it, we cannot get a clear shot on the skeleton, and this is something that can be exploited, as in the game you can actually use the pillars to the eastern wall to actually get over the grating and head towards the Helm of the Crusader without wading through a few more dead ends and skeletons that are lying in wait. Successfully navigating our way over the grating, even in heavy armor, we then see our prize is just in reach. However, a final showdown lies between us and the Helm of the Crusader. Weaving through the pillars and firing off projectiles, it is us who comes out the victor. We then turn and cautiously approach our prize, not knowing what to expect. In a jewelry box beside it, we find a paltry 2 gold, and there, sitting between unlit candles, is the winged helm of the Crusader. Picking it up, a quest log reads, "I've recovered the Helm of the Crusader, the first piece of the Crusader's relics," and thus we've obtained the first piece of many relics. The helm itself, when worn, fortifies restoration and personality, but also grants the power Serene Beauty, which allows the wearer to calm a target up to level 25 for 10 seconds. It should be noted that when questing for the Crusader's relics, the game will choose heavy armor or light armor for you, depending on which skill level you have higher. And with that, our quest, the Shrine of the Crusader, is now complete.